Hey guys, in this episode, we got a young man from my local market here named Skylar Glass, which is going to share with us the real story about what it takes to build a real estate sales business at a young age, mind you, working part-time on your sales business while working full-time and living a life on your full-time job working at Costco. So Skylar, how you doing today, buddy?
Rick, I'm good, man. I really appreciate you having me on tonight. This is a good opportunity, so thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad. Thank you for taking the time, man. I know that there's a lot of people that follow us and in our groups and stuff that are interested in maybe getting started in real estate. And I don't think there's enough real people out there talking about what it really takes and the wins and the losses and the struggles and the positive stuff and just all the stuff that goes along with it. And Skylar, you've got an amazing story, and I give you a lot of credit for what you've achieved. So tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Yeah, man, I really appreciate it, Rick. Hey, man, I'm 27 years old, born and raised in Toledo, Ohio. Licensed for 2 years now in real estate. I'm actually in the process of expanding my real estate career to Orlando, Florida. I actually move here in a couple weeks. Super excited, ready to keep growing, networking, and meeting new people. And Toledo's been my roots, and I'm just ready for the next jump here. So.
So you've been licensed for 2 years. That's crazy when you just said that, because it seems like 5 minutes ago you were going through the process of the online courses and trying to figure out how to get. I can't believe it's been 2 years already. That's crazy, man. Well, congratulations, good for you, man. So a little bit. It's been a quick 2 years. Obviously, you've had some success. So let's talk about what's your main niche. You're a realtor,
I'm a realtor, yep. Buyer
okay?
and seller's agent, both sides.
Buyers. Which one do you prefer working with? Does it really matter?
No, I'm open to the opportunity on both sides. I'm happy to help with listing your house, selling it, or I'm happy to help you find your first home or find your next home. So I'm happy to do both.
So let me ask you this: why real estate? What where did that come up with? Like what's your passion about it? What made you go that direction?
So the reason why I chose real estate, so I always had a niche for wanting to be in sales.
Okay.
Having the ability to create my own schedule. The cliche, be your own boss. Love that. I love not having to set an alarm clock. But just, being able to itemize my own schedule, make my own rules and work for myself and really see what happens when you give 100% to something and watch it return 100% back to you.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So what was before you got licensed, what was life like at that time? What did you do before you were inspired to become a real estate agent?
So before real estate, for the past previous 6 years, I was licensed. Excuse me, I was a full-time Costco wholesale employee here in Toledo locally.
Okay.
I got into Costco in 2018 and started a career there. Worked through the heart of COVID for 2 years in it. Got
Right.
a real taste of what retail was really like. I actually was in the sales and marketing department in Costco for a little bit, so I kind of got my feet wet there. And that's when I learned that I wanted to work for myself at some point, and that's when I jumped in and got into the game of real estate.
So what was the point of decision? Like what happened that day? Everybody knows like this is the day I went and signed up for my classes. What was that trigger?
I was ready to be an entrepreneur. I was ready to just go all in and bet on myself and just give up the 40-hour work week, to be completely honest with you.
Really? So we all know that didn't just happen like that, right?
No, it did not happen like
Let,
that.
let's let's help the people understand the real life story of what it takes to get from working full time at Costco to where you are today, right? So
Yeah.
when you decided I'm going to do this, I'm going to get my license. What did that whole look like when you signed up for the test, all that?
So the first step, man, was swallowing pain for the classes because I wasn't making a lot of money, and it was $1,500 to get my classes. And I
Okay,
remember sitting there looking at the screen, saying, "Okay, $1,500 now to potentially change my life for eternity." And I won't even lie to you. I didn't even really have the money for it. I put it on a credit card, bought the classes. For Ohio, you have, I think, 6 months to get the classes done. I knocked them out in 34 days. That's how determined I was to get it done.
nice, good stuff, man. Congratulations.
So did the classes, um, turned everything in. I was actually living in my uncle's basement at the time.
Really?
My own apartment. I moved home for a full year, living in my uncle's basement, got my real estate classes done, did the pre-check, and then jumped in and started taking the exam.
Yeah. So you got done in 34 days. So how was the exam going? How'd the exam go for you?
I won't lie to you. I'll be as transparent as I possibly can. The real estate exam for Ohio for me was tough. So I'm not a very good test taker.
Okay.
Um, I had a few people, friends and family, help me study. I remember meeting one of my mentors in a local McDonald's, studying on a computer, going over it to pass the exam. Uh,
Really?
there's a national and a state portion, and it's tricky. There's a couple there's like 10 questions a part of the national test that actually don't count. So if you miss them or if you get them correct, it doesn't benefit you either way. So
Okay.
it's tough. And I won't lie, I failed my exam twice.
Really?
Failed my exam twice, and you got to pay for that every single time you take it.
Did you have that, did doubt creep in at all and think about just throwing in the towel? Like what was the, if that was, if you were talking to somebody right now that maybe that's happened to, what
Okay.
would you say to that person?
So doubt never came in my mind. I never thought about giving up because one, I was like, you spent the money, you dedicated the time, you're putting in the effort, you know what you're going up against. I knew that I would break through and pass this at some point, and I knew struggling to pass it when I finally did, the relief would be unreal, and I knew what was on the other side of that door. So there was no way I was going to stop. No
That's
way.
awesome.
So if
That's awesome.
anybody out there who's struggling to pass that exam, I don't care if you take it 20 times, do not give up. When you pass it, because you will, everything will change for you, I promise.
That's awesome, man. So what would you say if you could think back that far? I know it's been a couple years from when you first made the decision signing up for your classes till you got the ticket, you got the license, you're done, you passed the test. Do you remember how long that was?
Yeah, so let me see here. So when I bought my classes, I want to say, because I got licensed in July. Okay, so if you don't fail the test twice, you'll probably be a little faster than me. But I would say, depending on how fast you can get the classes done, I mean, I'd say you could get licensed in 90 days if you're really hustling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you really
Truth,
put the gas pedal down,
a little more realistic, people with full-time jobs. I'm not sure what people in their personal life have going on, but call it 6 months max.
call it 6 months. So
I
you
call
did
it six
this.
months.
How did you do all that working full time?
I had no choice because I knew the sooner I could get it done and get licensed, I knew the faster I could change my life around.
Okay.
I
All right.
worked full time as a forklift driver at the time at Costco. That was my current position. And I was getting up at 2:45 in the morning to be to Costco by 4 a.m. I'd
Okay.
work 4 a.m. to 12:30. I'd go to my local gym after it. Some days I would even take a nap in my car in the parking lot, go in, go to the gym, come home, do my classes, rinse and repeat until it was done.
Just kept going over and over and over again.
Nonstop.
So are you married? Got any kids?
No, single
So you,
man, 27 single, and I got a dog. That's it.
so you were able to really just laser focus on what your goal was.
Nothing was coming in between me and passing that exam.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So how has life changed since you passed the exam?
Life has been great, man. I've
Yeah.
had the opportunity to meet some awesome clients. I've had the ability to work next to some really good agents, some tips and tricks. I think I've done a little over like 4 million in sales on 20 plus deals.
Nice.
It's been extremely rewarding, and I this is what I was chasing, and I knew I was able to do this, and this will reward anybody if you put in the work.
Yeah.
Anybody.
That's
And
awesome, man. So let's talk about everybody has a great story. Everybody, no matter what you're doing, everybody has a first deal, right? You just
yep,
got licensed, you passed your test, you start pounding the pavement. Well, what was your next step when you picked a broker next, right? So
pick the
you're
brokerage.
talking you're
Yep.
talking to the newbie that's in the class today.
Yeah.
What happens after you pass the test?
So after you pass your test, so to take your state exam in the state of Ohio, you have to be already like pre-signed up with a brokerage. You have to be
Okay.
affiliated with one.
All right.
I picked a brokerage and was affiliated with one, passed my exam, obtained my access to my MLS, and I dove right in. My first deal actually was a referral from another colleague that I was working alongside, and the client was from Rhode Island. So this client, we get in touch. I call her. She was a cash buyer, and she was like, "I need a house in the next 14 days."
Oh wow.
And
No pressure.
yeah, it was like straight to it. I remember exactly where I was when I took the phone call. I was literally in the gym on a bench press. I kid you not. I got up, put my stuff in my bag, and walked right out, cleaned up, and went and picked this client up. She had no car. So when I'm talking to her on the phone, she said, "Hey, Skylar, there's just one thing." And I'm like, Okay. She goes, I'm from out of town and I don't have a vehicle. Are you able to pick me up and take me around to the showings? And to be honest with you, I wasn't sure if I could legally do that at first. So I had to call my broker and was like, hey, am I able to pick up a brand new client and drive them around and show them houses if they have no vehicle? They're like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. So that was my first experience with my client.
Really? Did you find her a house?
We did. So we actually, ironically, we bought the first house we looked at.
Nice.
First house we looked at was a cash deal, and we closed it smooth. And that's literally how I broke the ice in my real estate career.
Really?
Yep. Picked
That's
her up in
awesome.
my car, drove her around, and we bought the first house in cash.
So how did you operate your business now that you're licensed, right? You got your first deal, you're getting off
Mhm.
work. It had to help a little bit. I know getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning was very difficult for you through all that. How did you manage that? Now you got clients and you got from 12:30 until whenever you go to bed at night. You're trying to run a real estate sales business and build it. How did you do that in your spare time?
Okay, so in my spare time, I mean, I would literally get off work and instantly start my follow-up as soon as I got home because sometimes I wasn't available to respond to my clients instantaneously on my phone at work. I'm in
Right.
retail on the sales floor, you know, at work. So it was tough. I wouldn't lie. I'd go in the break room, I would send some texts. Like I did what I could to try and stay fluent so they didn't think I was just under the radar on them.
Right. Right. So you were able to fast forward that. Now, let me ask you this. Are you still at Costco?
No, I'm not. I quit Costco. I'm a full-time agent and I'm going all the way in even more.
So let's talk about that, right? That's the question when people get in real estate, whether it's investing, sales, whatever. It's always I want to get out of my 9 to 5 job. I want to get out of my job. I want to quit. Everybody wants to quit their job. Well, you didn't quit your job, right? You evolved,
I,
right?
I evolved. And it was intimidating to leave. Leaving the sense of security of guaranteed money, paycheck every week, every 2 weeks, whatever your pay is, it doesn't matter. It was intimidating. But once I broke that ice, I've never looked back. Never looked back.
No,
No.
I know leading up to it, you were kind of second guessing. We all do.
Yeah.
Everybody that's a full-time entrepreneur. There's not a day that goes by that I don't wonder, 10 years ago what life would be like today. And no, it's just part of it. There's nothing wrong with that. So what would you say to the person that wants to just strictly get into real estate because they want to get out of their daytime job? I always tell people it's got to be bigger than that, right? Because that's not enough to drive you. You went through the mud of all the hard shit, right? The late nights, the early mornings, the
Right.
struggling, right? What would
Mhm.
you say to the person that when is it a good time to go ahead and make the career change?
So anybody who's listening to this when it's time to make your career change, I mean, there's never going to be a perfect time. If we all have bills just like everybody else, make sure you have, I would say, a decent amount of capital put aside to pay your bills and just jump, calculated risk I think is important. Don't be reckless with it, but there's never going to be a perfect time. And listen, it is scary, but I promise you, if you put it all on yourself and you give it 100%, it only fails if you let it. So if you don't let it fail, I promise you it'll work out. It will work out. There were times where I felt like I had no business, and then 2 days later the phone's ringing and I have three clients, and I'm like, oh, see, just be patient and just stay dedicated, and it'll work the way you want it to. Just make it happen.
That's great advice, man. That's great advice. We were always kind of like ready, shoot, aim people, right? Pull the trigger and then figure it out and jump off the cliff and then hope you can pull the parachute on the way down. But there's a lot of people ask that question. I want to quit my job. I want to quit my job. And I always tell people the way that we recommend, and this may or not be right. I didn't do it this way. I did it wrong. I just went to work and took a layoff.
Yeah.
I don't recommend that to anybody ever. What we recommend to people is work your side hustle, which was your
Yep.
real estate business. Work your side hustle until your side hustle overtakes your main hustle.
Absolutely.
In other ways, you could do another way you could think of it is make sure you have 6 months to a year of liquid cash in the bank as if you didn't make another dollar moving forward.
Mhm.
And these are all just recommendations. I'm not a financial advisor. Skylar's not a financial advisor. We're not telling you to do this. These are just things that we've seen over the years and things that we've done ourselves. So
Yeah.
congratulations on making all those changes, man.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't have a ton of money put away when I quit. I slowly exited Costco. Like I didn't just walk in one day and put my 2 weeks in. I was full time. I stepped down to part time, and then once I really got the wheels off the ground with real estate, I was like, it's time. Like I knew it internally. I was like, it's time to go. Like you're ready. And I
What,
jumped.
what was
I
your day like when you walked out?
bittersweet. I worked with some
Was
great
it
people. Costco was good to me. It was a great stepping stone. They took care of me, but I definitely was ready for the next thing.
really?
Yeah, definitely
Good.
ready for the next thing.
That's good stuff, man. No looking back.
No looking back. No rear view mirror in this car.
So what have you found that you really love about working with clients? Your buyers, your sellers. What do you really enjoy? If I'm looking for real estate agents, why do I choose you?
Because the having the satisfaction to fulfill somebody's pain point.
Okay.
Not every time somebody wants to buy a house, it's always fun. You never know somebody's situation. And a lot of my clients, man, I've really got to know them personally. I've been
Right.
invited to family parties and picnics and barbecues and getting Christmas cards from people and just, the appreciativeness of just being thanked for helping them, sell a piece of property, put money in their pocket, obtaining, a dream house for, they might need something bigger for family and kids. I mean, just the satisfaction of just helping somebody is really it. Like it's not even about the money. It's really not. Pursuing happiness and seeing these people at a closing table like, thank you for what you do. Like this was a great experience. That means more to me than anything else.
That's powerful, man. That'll take you a long way.
And
That'll
I
that'll
love
take.
when I run into past clients in public and they're like, "Hey, you sold my house," or "Hey, you're the guy that bought my house with me," and I'm like, "That's me." Like that makes me feel good.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. You just keep making that ripple effect, man. You keep touching people, and that's how your business will grow too. People talk about you, whether you want to believe it or not. Referrals are the biggest honor somebody can give you.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
if you treat your business like a business and you treat people like human beings and just seek to serve and you're grateful for that, there's no limits to what you can do, man. So congratulations on everything you're doing. What's next for Skylar?
The next step, man. So I'm actually in the process of taking my state exam for the state of Florida.
State of Florida.
State of,
What's going on? What's going on in Florida?
State of Florida, man. I'm actually in the process of moving to Orlando, Florida, and I'm gonna jump into the luxury real estate market, and we're gonna see what it's all about. I'm ready for the next chapter. Can't wait.
Luxury real estate. It's a little different down there than Toledo, Ohio.
It's a whole different game, and it's gonna be a whole new atmosphere for me. But I'm more than excited. I can't wait.
How did you was there a reason you picked Orlando or like what was the
Yeah,
reason you picked
so
Orlando?
I already had in mind that I wanted to go sell real estate in Central Florida, and I
Okay.
actually got connected with a couple brokerages and interviewed at a few places and got told no by some of them and got a couple opportunities for the other and kind of weighed the pros and cons and made the jump.
So if you're talking to someone that's interviewing brokers or maybe changing markets, what were you looking for when you were shopping around and trying to meet brokers?
Let's see, down in Florida, if you're going into a new terrain like I am and you don't know nobody, you're the new guy in town, you're not from the state. If I give you any recommendation, find a brokerage and get along a team. Get acclimated with people. You want to meet people, network, get in front of as many faces you possibly can, introduce yourself, put a drop in the bucket, let them know what you sell real estate, and just start getting your name out there. But in a nutshell, in my opinion, I would join a team. I think it's gonna be really hard in a brand new state like Florida, big, in a real estate industry that's very competitive, to be brand new and not know anybody and just go do it all on your own. All
Right.
power to you if you can, but I would join a team and start, leveraging other people and start meeting some people.
That's good stuff, man. It's really great advice for people that are might be even if you're just looking for brokerages in your local market. If you're brand new to the game and you don't know much, connecting with other people that have the resources is very powerful and can help you go a long way, man. I'm excited to watch your journey down there. When are you going?
I actually leave this Sunday on the 16th.
This coming Sunday.
This
How do you
Sunday.
how do you feel?
It's a lot of mixed emotions, but I have not had one thought in my mind where I was like, man, are you doing the right thing?
Okay.
I'm pedal to the floor with this. I actually just put my personal property under contract here in Toledo that closes in a few weeks, and I'm excited, man. I'm ready for it. I'm
Good
ready
for you,
for
man.
it. I'm sure
Congratulations.
it'll have ups and downs, but that's just life. This is just part of being an entrepreneur, and I can't wait.
Good for you, man. So if you're talking to someone and you want to give a word of advice, you're making a lot of like you're a young guy, man. You're making a lot of big changes, a lot of growth, a lot of positive stuff happening in your life. I'm proud of you. And I watched the journey that you went on the whole time. You know what I mean? And what would you say to people that we talk about this a lot. the importance of the people that you surround yourself with.
You are who you surround yourself with, and the five closest people you spend the most time with, you'll turn into the sixth one.
100%. That's
So just get with like-minded people that have the same drive as you and the same hunger, and you'll be the sixth one in the group, and you'll be doing exactly what they want to do.
right. Yeah, that's good. That's good advice, man. What would you say to someone as we wrap this up? You're talking to somebody that's just thinking about real estate, kicking rocks. They might be interested, they might not. What would you say to the person that may be questioning things, maybe might want to take the leap? What would be your piece of advice as you're mentoring the next person coming up behind you?
Even if you don't want to pursue real estate full time and you just want to maybe have your license and put it in your back pocket to help family and friends, that's completely fine too. I think everybody should have the real estate license. I think it's a good tool to just have access to, just having the ability to search the MLS and maybe go find your own fix and flip. You don't have to be a realtor like I am. But ask yourself this: do you like your freedom? Do you want to make your own schedule? Do you want to get up when you want? Do you want to build relationships and networks with new people to see what kind of doors they may open? If you have the same answer as I do, which would be yes to all those, I don't know what you're waiting on. You should go get your license. You should start it.
That's awesome, man. Good, good. That's really good advice. I really am excited for you, man. I said you got a lot to look forward to. You're going to be connected with a lot of big opportunities in a place like Florida, especially in a place like Orlando. There's going to be a lot of you're going to rub a lot of elbows with a lot of different types of individuals, right? So
Yeah.
take advantage of everything, everybody you come across. Connect the dots. You just never know. You're always one conversation away from changing your entire life, and you just never
Yeah.
know what that conversation is going to be.
You never know who you're gonna meet. You
Yeah.
really don't.
You just
So
never know.
get in
Focus
the
on
front
serving
door.
people, be grateful, work hard, man. If you go down to Florida with the same work ethic that you have here in Toledo, Ohio, you write your own ticket,
Yeah.
right? It's just a much different environment. But if you go down there with the blue collar, gritty personality of hard work that you bring from Toledo, Ohio, there's no stopping you, man. So I want to thank you for taking the time. For anybody that might be interested in getting more information of working with Skylar down in Orlando or possibly doing deals here in Toledo, don't hesitate to reach out to him. He's on my social media if you can't find him. Skylar, thank you very much, and I look forward to watching the rest of your journey.
Rick, I can't appreciate you enough, man. Thank you for your time. That I really appreciate it. This was good.
You got it, brother.
Thanks, Rick. See you.